Hi everybody, Bearded Rogue here. I'm trying something for the month of August. Every day I'm going to try to do a video blog, so welcome to Vlogust. So, to start with, I attended Gen Con this year for the first time, and that was really cool. I was only able to make it for one day. I was only there for the second day, Friday, but I got to walk around, and of course it's Gen Con, so I didn't get to do everything I wanted to do, but I got to see a lot of the people that I wanted to see. I got to look at a lot of the things that I wanted to look at, check out multiple things. So I'm going to highlight some of the things from my Gen Con that were really exciting to me. This isn't going to be a 3 things I love video. It's just going to be more of a, I guess, mind-rambly summary of what Gen Con was for me. So, first and foremost, the coolest thing about Gen Con is definitely the people. This industry has some of the greatest people ever in any industry. The individuals who make up this hobby, the publishers, the designers, the people involved in distribution, people involved in setting everything up, the volunteers on the floor, everybody in this hobby is pretty friggin' awesome. So if you're watching this, you're obviously involved in the hobby in some way, even if it's just because you know me. So you're awesome, like every single one of you. All the people that I got to hang out with were fantastic. Some of them were old friends from previous conventions, Origins this year being the biggest source. Some were people I had never met in person before, but were friends online, on Twitter and Facebook and everything. It was just overall, it's always great to see all of you. So that's the biggest highlight from Gen Con for me, is getting to see all of you again. Because that's the best part of any convention, as far as I'm concerned, is the people involved. The second thing that I liked at Gen Con was the spectacle of it. Like, I'm a regular attendee at Origins. I've been to Origins, I don't know how many years in a row now. I go there as often as possible. I've been to an Unpub, the first gigantic Unpub, and it was awesome. Like, but Gen Con is a spectacle. Like, it's so many people. The booths are so outrageous. The cosplayers everywhere. It's the first convention I've been to that actually had booth babes. It was just, the spectacle is everywhere. Like, it's unlike anything I've ever seen before. It's not as laid back of an atmosphere, which I kind of don't like. Everybody needs to be somewhere doing something immediately every second of every day, and taking breaks for meals is what you do in the time between meetings, or the time between the exciting things that you're doing. But the spectacle of it was really great to take in, like the giant balloon sculpture being built over time, Cardhalla. It was just really cool to be able to see all of that. Another cool thing, of course, is all of the new games coming out. I'm a gamer, like everybody watching, and new games are always exciting. There weren't as many new games as I was hoping this year that I would be excited about, or at least going for one day, and on day 2 only, most of the really exciting games were ones that weren't accessible to me. Like, I knew I was never going to get a copy of Mysterium. I would have had to kneecap somebody in the parking lot for that to happen. I wasn't going to spend 2 hours or more in a line on my one day at Gen Con to try to acquire one of the hot titles, so that wasn't going to happen. But I got to play Codenames. Codenames is fantastic. Codenames may possibly be my favorite party game as of this moment. It pretty much replaces anything I can think of. It leads to humorous moments, but it is not itself trying to be funny. It can be very cerebral. It can be very entertaining to try to get in the mind of somebody else as they come up with things. So, like, it was great to be able to actually give that one a try. Even though I was, I guess, pre-order only, and I did not pre-order it. But as far as games that I did get that seem to be getting a lot of buzz, Ashes. This game is a duh, as far as I'm concerned. If you don't pick this up, you either don't like card games, or you don't like dice, or you don't like fun. One of those things has to be true, maybe all of those things. But this game is fantastic. However, I used my budget for Gen Con to pre-order things that I wanted. So I pre-ordered Ashes, and the amazing people at Plaid Hat Games got it to my house before I left for Gen Con. The pre-orders ended on Saturday, the Saturday before Gen Con, last week, and I received my copy Tuesday and was able to bring it with me to Board Game Night Wednesday, and we played the heck out of it. And it's a really great system, really simple to understand, with lots of depth in the rules on the cards, which is exactly what I'm looking for in a card game. I haven't gotten really deep into it yet, but there's a possibility that it may become my go-to card game. I love Netrunner. Netrunner is like, it's in my top 3 of all time, and it's really going to be hard to top that. I don't know that Ashes will, but I'm probably going to get to play it more often than I get to play Netrunner, so that says something. The other thing that I pre-ordered was something that was getting a lot of buzz before the convention, and that was Viceroy from Mayday. A lot of people started receiving their Kickstarters, and so they offered a pre-order deal where you could add some of the Kickstarter items to it. So I went ahead and pre-ordered Viceroy, and I got the game, and I got the playmat, which is gorgeous. And I got the packet of gems, which may be one of the neatest things I've gotten for a game in a long time. I wish I had larger versions of these for Splendor instead of poker chips. I think that would be really cool. I did get some of the Acrylic poker chips for Splendor from the Asmo Play event, so thank you for putting that on, because those are awesome, but these are a really cool game component. So those were the 2 things I pre-ordered. They're the so I picked up Viceroy at the show. I already had Ashes. So what did I pick up at the show? Well, we're going to start with this. This is Argent Mancers of the University. Argent the Consortium is, if it's not my favorite, it's way up there, but it's really close to being my favorite worker placement game. It's level 99 games, these guys right here. If you don't own their stuff, you should. They are fantastic. I haven't played a bad game from them yet. Their designers are really on point. They do a lot of in-house development. I've been involved in the playtesting in the past. These guys just know what they're doing, and this is no exception. I kickstarted Argent and played the heck out of it, but when I kickstarted it, I wasn't able to get the expansion at the same time. It was just too much at one time in one paycheck. So I was glad to be able to finally pick this up and get the 6th faction, the Technomancers, and be able to bring these guys to the table. I've actually played with these before, not this Origins, but the Origins before. I got a wonderful invite from Brad Talton and Trey Chambers to come try out the game. This was after the Kickstarter was successful, but before they'd gone to print, so I played a little bit of the stuff that was in this box, because we played with everything, but it's really great to have my own copy. So check out Argent if you haven't already, and if you like it, this is well worth getting. Speaking of Origins, Origins has been my convention of choice forever. I got my first Origins was also the first Origins that Crash Games attended. And at that Origins, I met Patrick. I had backed Rise on Kickstarter, their first game, designed by Michael Coe. Hi, Michael. Hi, Patrick. And they were just fantastic. Like, it was my first Origins, it was their first Origins. They were really down to earth and awesome. I got to sit down and play some demos of The Lost Dutchman with Patrick, and I got to play a game of Rise. and talked to them for the whole convention, and I've seen them at basically every Origins ever since. I love both of those dudes, and I hang out with them all the time. But going back to Crash Games, I own everything they've released at this point, but there was one exception. There was a Kickstarter that I let sneak by, and I regretted the moment I did it, now I can say that my Crash Games collection is complete, and that's because I was able to get a copy of this Yardmaster. I was on the Yardmaster Express Kickstarter. I have that game. I love that game. I've played this game. I played this game with Patrick at Origins in the Geek Chic Lounge after the Kickstarter was successful, or during the Kickstarter. I don't remember exactly when it ran, but I wasn't in the Kickstarter for this, and I was very sad about that. And he actually had Kickstarter copies on hand, so it was a no-brainer for me to go ahead and pick this game up. I mean, it's the game that has the box that people want to be buried in. I mean, I couldn't not have it, so now I have a copy of Yardmaster, and that makes me very happy. The next thing is, if you didn't know, Chevy Dodd is awesome, and he was giving away, and still is, since Gen Con's technically still going on, giving away a free game this year, and this game is Madder Than a Hatter this year. He did it last year as well. I wasn't able to attend then, but Madder Than a Hatter was this year's free game. You just had to find him and ask, hey, do you have any of your game on hand? Because he's not allowed to sell it on the convention floor, since he's not a vendor. But I got my copy. This is one of the reasons I actually physically went to Gen Con, was to get a copy of this game. I printed out the print and play, I played it with my group, we had a lot of fun, I really wanted a better version of it, and so I tracked him down. And he was at the Portal booth, because he works for Portal Games. While I was there, I also picked up this Hotness. Portal was one of the few companies that had games on the Hotness list that they had more than enough of. This is my first ever Portal Games purchase, Tides of Time. I really wanted to get Imperial Settlers and couldn't find it anywhere. I really wanted to get Theseus the Dark Project and couldn't find it anywhere. So I decided to go ahead and pick this one up. I love micro games. This one looks really interesting and is a really good has a really good setup. I played it once while I was there and really enjoyed it, so I'm very glad that I picked it up. And I plan on playing this a whole bunch, so I'm very excited about that. As far as anything else I got at Gen Con, it was just I got a few promos and items. I got Evil Hikaru for BattleCon, which if you've seen my BattleCon video, you know that I love that, and it's already in its clear hinged case, so he's going to be added to my collection. I got the final card that I was missing for Sentinels of the Multiverse, the Super Scientific Tachyon, so now I once again have a complete set of Sentinels of the Multiverse with all of the stuff from Villains of the Multiverse on the way, and it makes me so happy. I'm not usually a completionist, but Sentinels is one of my top 3 games of all time, so it's definitely good to make sure that I have everything for it, because I love that game, and it's a really good promo. Like, it's, if you've ever played the app, she's on the app, and she's really, really good, so having a physical copy makes me really happy. But again, Gen Con was really cool, seeing everybody was really cool. I got to check out a whole bunch of neat things. I may put that into another video, because this kind of turned into my haul video, and it's getting a little long, but we'll record that here back to back, and I may release it tomorrow, or I may just put both of them up today to save me having to worry about what I'm going to put up tomorrow. Bye, guys.